So join me as I water the garden. It's turning cold now and we have got some warm days. The weather's really doing some strange things here this season. It feels like the season is so far behind with everything, or maybe it's me that's so far behind with everything. But these potatoes in here, the roosters dug up some, that's why there's patches, and the slugs have eaten some melons that I planted in the holes. But these were all the potatoes from last season that just sprouted, and I just put them all in the ground. I grow my potatoes in straw. Well, this is actually hay, but basically straw. And yeah, I find that so much easier to harvest. Got some nasturtiums, I think that's what they are, coming through. So, and this bed I harvested. I'm going to buy some more compost and put some tomatoes in there, which I'll show you shortly. So this is another bed. These have been in since about July. So I think these are also just about ready to come out. I think I could probably pull them out, although there's a few that are, I think, went in later, like these ones that are still standing up. So it's a question of whether we just wait, because I don't really need them to be harvested. They can sit in the ground. I think it's not going to hurt. So this is where the rooster was digging holes and everywhere, so some of them will be a little bit exposed. But yeah, there's a slug there. I'm just going to give him a water blast. The straw, the hay, does actually cause a nice little warm bed for the slugs to live in, which is a bit of a downside. So once I clear out the straw and hay, then I also clear out the slugs, so it's kind of plus in a way. So over here I've got the corn, which is just taken off, going really well, and got them all crammed in this one bed. Oh, we've got some silts coming on that one, look. So I have just enjoying this. I think once the plant gets big, they don't lose the moisture in the it's quite as much hay, but the corns are doing well. I've got a few corns in here, and now some massive leeks. I don't know if you remember me talking in the winter. Those leeks have been in quite a while, and they weren't doing very much at all. There's some onions down there, which I've not got planted yet. There's always jobs to do, and when you're working full time, it's a bit of a challenge. So those leeks are now massive. I should pull them out, but I've also now got all these onions planted in here, and the leeks are going to disrupt them a little bit, I think, when they get pulled out. But never mind. Oops, knocked him over. It will all work out, I'm sure. So I've got a few more onions in here, and I planted kumara in here, and it's still alive, which is always a positive. They take forever, I think. I'm not sure. Just buy the kumara from the supermarket, and they're on my windowsill in the kitchen for months, and then they come out here. So there's a few bits that are yellowing off, but I think overall they're still alive, so that's a good plus. And I've got a few more onions and some random regrowths. So over here we have potatoes under here. So it just looks like a whole heap of hay, but there is this plot is the potatoes I bought. I bought some seed potatoes from the from the garden centre, and that's what's gone in here. So they're just slightly doing their thing. And we have the next batch of potatoes, a bit more kumara at this end, and also dock leaves, but I'm not sure whether the kumara survived. Oh, there's one plant there, so there's a little bit off, and the sheep come to talk to us. So there is some nice flowering potatoes there, which are not ready yet, and I've got my water pipe hooked up over here. We go a bit further down. So for those that don't know, not all potatoes actually flower, so but until they start to die off, you're not quite sure what's happening in here. And again, these are all randoms from what was rooting itself and sprouting from last year's crop. So we'll see what happens. We've got some forage there, It's been pulled back so many times. I'm just trying to get this a little bit more sprinkly so I don't disaster everybody. These strawberries they're really quite old plants, but they've obviously just enjoyed their new space, and I've got some sunflowers growing there which have only just been in there for a while. I need to tie them up because they're starting to get a bit leggy. And over here we have some beans. I've got a couple of different types of beans. There's some red onions down the middle, and then these random tomato plants. I haven't planted those tomatoes, they've just seeded up from last year. So now that I've put this A-frame over that bed, it's going to be interesting to pick those. And that one there is self-seeded. And we've got some beans, watermelons I think they are in here. I'm not quite sure whether they're honeydew or watermelon, so we'll find out. Some more beetroot growing. My cats are doing a bit of digging in that one, which is a bit of a nuisance. So over here, see if I can get my strawberries. My husband has been a little bit tardy and he doesn't give the strawberries a drink. I guess if you don't give them a drink, you don't get nice plump strawberries. This one's getting a bit thirsty. These baskets have worked really well. This is they weren't brand new baskets, and this is the third season. Some of them are starting to collapse, but they're doing pretty well. So these trays, give these guys. So these were some plants that I kind of just pulled off the mother plants earlier. They're all getting a little bit of a water blast, and they've done really well. Down here we have a couple of cucumbers. I think one's Telegraph cucumber, this one that I've just tied up here. And again, some random tomato plants, another cucumber, random potatoes, and I think we've got a sunflower down there. So, and this blooming grass is a nuisance. I don't know why I'm watering it. So those are my two plants that I've planted, or three rather. That was a plant given to me. Over there at the bottom, we'll go around there and we can see what's happening. Sorry, this video is going to be all over the place, but never mind, this is just life. So that's got some tomatoes on, you can see. And there's another sunflower down there. But this grass, I'm going to have to do something with that because it's kind of taking over completely. And see if I can do this with... Oh, that's a challenge. So, sorry, video. So I am a little bit disappointed in my veggie pod so far. These things have been here for ages and they're not really growing that well. The cauliflower has scorched, and that one is completely scorched. The carrots are looking a bit scorched as well. So far this is getting about a 6 out of 10. In fact, that's probably a high estimate. But we'll see. I think this might come into its own a little bit in the winter when I've put some more carrots in. We'll see. I haven't thinned those carrots out, but oh look, we've got some carrots coming there. Can you see? Maybe I should thin them out. But yeah, that's been a bit of, I think, a bit of a disappointment. It's going to seed. This is the one basket that has given up the ghost. So I think when we get this season over, I'll repot these strawberries that are in here. These plants. I haven't got a lot on them, this one. It's a bit low down and my dogs help themselves, and they help themselves to the green ones as well. So I'll give these guys a bit of a drink. They all got... That one's looking a bit sad, as you can see over there. And all these... Oh look, there's some half red ones there. All these hydrangeas that I've got here are desperately waiting, these guys here, desperately waiting for me to plant them somewhere, and I haven't really got myself organised as to where to plant them. So, give these guys a drink. It's amazing how they come back again when you actually give them some water, isn't it? Got a red strawberry there, missed that one. A few more These are Sunshine 100 tomatoes in here, and there's so many I just chuck them all in together in the pot. Again, we got some planted out strawberries in here. I must try and buy an end for this hose, because this is not overly successful how I'm doing this, and also not successful when I'm trying to talk to you guys as well. Whoops, I was a bit enthusiastic there. So again, these are, I think these are Sunshine 100. So these are all cherry tomatoes. And then we've got some honeydew melons that need a space to grow in. So I'll give these guys a big drink. I've been a bit enthusiastic because I've got one hand on the phone and one hand on the hose. So I've just kind of knocked those guys over. And let's go back round the other side. Oh, my lights have come on. Look at the pretty lights. So this bed's doing quite well. There's a bit of garlic in the front, and there's obviously a bit of lettuce that's self-seeded lettuce. And I've got a nice courgette plant that's doing quite well. Back there I've got some fennel and some lettuce trees. Look at the lettuce trees. So I think it's kind of doing its thing quite well. Need to give this carefully give this a drink inside the tub. These are all beef sticks, I think. We've got some. We've had a bit of a slug or snails eating these guys this time, and this is the bath that got flooded. Another lettuce tree. Oops, look at my poor little Cherokee purples. They'll be much happier when they have a drink. So, just got my hose in the wrong place. I think I should trim back the plants. I'm not sure if they're going to come again, but maybe they will. And there's some more onions there. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of my garden that's a bit neglected, and then there's little oases of abundant growth. And my pretty lights have come up. You can't really see them. But that's, yeah, I'll shut the video off and I'll just finish off watering the garden.